What's up, everybody? Chris Platte, Rap Cave Side Quest. Haven't done one of these in a while, but had to get back to Money Mur. Oh man, look, the people are telling us there's only one person we got to talk about these days,
And we all know who that is.
and that's your boy,
It's my boy.
Marshall Mathers. As you can peep the vinyl right there. Eminem. Now we did Death of Slim Shady on the podcast. Did very well. Got some interesting, engaging results. And so, you know what? I figured let's follow the numbers. Let's give the people what they want. You and I did this before, but we did it a little differently. So this time it's going to be fresh. And you said your list has changed since then.
Definitely.
Doing an Eminem discography ranking. Now, what we did in previous times is we would rank an artist's whole discography, worst to first. And this time, in order to keep the video kind of short and sweet, I don't think we really need to highlight much beyond the top five and some honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where like you really need to have conversations. If we want to at the end, maybe for fun, we can give our list.
Yeah.
But our full list. But for now, I think just going with the top five. Talking about the albums that people actually really, really want from an artist that. His catalog is interesting because we've had these conversations. I brought it up on the podcast, Eminem versus Future, Eminem versus Kanye, Eminem versus Jay-Z, Eminem versus Nas, like all of these great artists, the tier that he's in, comparing his discography to them. And that got quite some controversy. So I wanted to say that these are the projects we excluded. We didn't include the Relapse Refill. We didn't include the Straight from the Vault, the Re-Up, Curtain Calls 1 and 2, the Shady compilation album, the 8 Mile soundtrack, the B-side of Music to be Murdered by, Slim Shady EP, the Southpaw soundtrack, like all those other things that Eminem's been involved with. We kind of just like those kind of non-studio albums we kind of stayed away from. So we're just ranking the studio albums. So before we get to our top five, because we'll go 5 to 1. Give me a couple of your honorable mentions and why they ultimately were close, how you feel about them, and why they didn't make the top five.
So one honorable mention was definitely, well, I got two really. Honorable mention was definitely Death of Slim Shady.
Okay.
I did like the album. I liked where he was going with it. I like how he brought it back. Like I said, he's even got a song from that was supposed to be on Encore, that Brand New Dance.
Oh yeah.
Renamed it. Couldn't have Christopher Reeves because R.I.P. passed away. He had to change it to Brand New Dance, and then brought it back. Gave it some time to, be. He would have sounded like a dick if he would have put that on Encore. He died a little too early. But no, it's a good album. The reason I didn't put it up in the top five yet is because I gotta let it sit.
Okay.
I gotta see how this is gonna, am I gonna come back to this album? Is it going to be something that people are going to still be listening to next year or two? You never know. Personally, I think I might, but like I said, I still got to give it some time. That's the reason I put that in the top five yet.
Okay.
Because, it beats, obviously, a lot of albums that he's already done in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
So, but another honorable mention would be Marshall Mathers LP2.
Okay.
I like that album a lot. I remember picking that up when I was younger, playing it 24/7. But literally, there comes a point in every album where there is a little bit of filler.
Yeah.
So
was it that back half for you, right? Like that.
It was definitely the last half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last half was definitely
that like home stretch where it's like what was it like Wicked
except
Ways
for Evil.
And all that. Yeah.
I liked Evil.
Yeah.
Now, because I bought the actual deluxe edition, so those songs were on there. I didn't really care too much for those songs. I didn't like Asshole either. Asshole was I just didn't like that song.
I mean, you know how I feel about Skylar Grey. I'm not gonna crash out again over Skylar Grey.
I didn't like that song, but
yeah.
But like Wicked Ways wasn't terrible. I mean, the chorus was shit, but he was rapping on it. He was doing good. But as far as like the other tracks, like Groundhog Day was decent. But the other ones I just didn't really fuck with like that. Like Desperation was ass.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst song on the whole entire album. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, small things like a nitpick why, you know, I didn't put some in top five versus why I didn't, some albums. But what about you?
My honorable mentions, if you did too, I'll do too. So my honorable mentions are Bad Meets Evil Hell, the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a very good album, but I think like the consistency of it is a little hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like the production, it's kind of like Royce stepping into M's world,
Yeah,
production wise. And I think that Royce wasn't necessarily fully comfortable with a lot of those songs. Like
I can agree.
I don't think he knew how to do lighters. Like I don't think he
Yeah.
knew how to do some of those records. But when you get into the intro record, the
Intro, they both spazzed.
above the law, like
A
those are
Kiss. A Kiss was really good.
Fast Line, yeah,
Fast
Kiss,
Lane, yeah.
like those ones
Those
that
stood
kind of
out.
fit more Royce's production style. I
Mm-hmm.
thought worked. So that to me though, I love
It's a good album.
two elite rappers going at it. Lyrically and just really kind of playing off each other. Like Fast Lane, to me, I remember watching that video as a kid.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that
a
shit
crazy video.
that was crazy.
What's your most underrated song on there?
Uh,
Because I got mine.
it probably would be Above the Law. That was my, because I don't think that one was a big one.
Yeah.
Or I liked the deep cut take for me a lot too. I would say one of those.
Okay.
Or if neither of those count as like, because there wasn't really a hit on there other than Fast Lane and Lighters. Those were the only two that like actually like went beyond the record.
Okay.
What's yours?
The Reunion.
The Reunion. Yeah,
It's a good song.
that was
It
solid.
just the
Yeah,
storytelling.
yeah,
It was perfect between them two.
yeah.
They
That was a
both
solid
did good.
record.
It was a beat made for both of them. I mean, I
Yeah,
think it was a solid beat.
yeah.
So
But yeah, good project
yeah,
overall.
for sure.
Often gets overshadowed because it's the same year as Watch the Throne.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I always use that as like a benchmark between those two albums of like
Did Watch the
look
Throne
at
come out first?
look at how I believe
Okay,
that was
that's
like a couple
probably
months
why.
before.
Yeah, probably why.
But it's just two totally different styles of production, and it's like look at where rap is now versus like look at those two. One it heavily leans towards Watch the Throne.
Well, I was
than
gonna
it
say,
does.
Watch the Throne. You have two of the biggest artists at that
Yeah,
time, and then the Bad Meets Evil. I'm not saying Royce is a bad artist, but it's like you
yeah,
got one big artist and you got one that's like
yeah,
Detroit knows. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, so
yeah. Or like just or even just like in the rap
if it was
world,
M and
yeah.
J, yeah, that would be
Yeah. Well,
obviously
no,
up
I
there.
just mean the production style. Like the
Production style.
production style of it, like everybody's trying to make, Otis type beats still. Everybody's trying to make, everybody's
Yeah,
trying to make
definitely.
make Paris beats like all of that versus like, you had just elite rapping on Bad Meets Evil, but I thought the production was inconsistent.
Yeah.
Anyways, the other one I had as an honorable mention, because I think this album's a bit divisive for a lot of people, is for me Encore. I think Encore, some people love it, some people hate it. I think a lot more people hate it than a lot more people love it.
Mm-hmm.
But I I think it's a good album, man. I think I think it has some of my favorite Eminem songs, like Curtains Down. It has it
Yellow
has
Brick Road is
Never
pretty
Enough.
good. Yeah.
It has some like Toy Soldier, like
Mockingbird.
yeah, Mockingbird, like
Ass Like That. Just Lose It.
yeah,
Yeah.
it had good records. Like even that's the one. Yeah, even it had that deep that like I think it was a B side record, but the Spend Some Time. I
That's a
liked
good
that
song. Yeah,
song
that's a
too.
good
Yeah,
song.
One Shot, Two Shot. I like that. So
Yeah.
it was. I get it. It was goofy. It was zany. But you know what? I think Eminem did that better on that album than he did on some of his other albums
I can agree with that.
that are more critically acclaimed. So, I think it's a very solid album. I think it gets shit on a little too aggressively.
Mhm.
Now, am I in the mood to listen to it all the time? No, but when I'm listening to Eminem songs, like yeah, there's some encore songs that will
Yeah,
make
for
like
sure.
my favorite
Definitely.
Eminem list. So
Definitely.
where you at with number 5?
So, this is where it got interesting for me. Number 5, I had Relapse.
Okay.
I had Relapse at number 5. Just because, I mean, that was the year he literally came back, like, and he did exactly what he was expected to do. I mean, that album had bangers. You got 3 a.m., Crack a Bottle, Underground was a deep cut that I love. Um, I mean, just a solid project, man. Like, I mean, I don't think there's not really many songs I skip on that album.
Hmm.
If you want me to be honest with you, like if I had to look at it, I would say the only songs I really skip, and this is including the Relapse Refill. Like even that deluxe, I don't skip a song on there.
Yeah,
Every single song was good.
that refill did.
That was probably the best deluxe to drop. Like, easily.
That had some good records.
Careful
on
What You
it.
Wish For, My
Elevator,
Darling, Drop the Bomb, Music Box, Taking My Ball, Elevator, Buffalo Bill. None of
Buffalo
them are
Bill and
skips.
Elevator were my favorites off that. Yeah.
The only ones I would probably skip is We Made You. It gets overplayed, a little annoying. Insane was a little too insane.
Yeah, there was.
That's not something you can blast in front of anybody. That's like something you listen to yourself, like by
Yeah.
yourself. And then I would probably say Stay Wide Awake. Those are really the only songs I can't really listen to, but everything else, man, solid.
Yeah, I actually
Solid.
have the same number 5, and it's for
Oh,
what I
nice.
said about Encore. Kind of perfectly details it. For me,
Mm-hmm.
it was like that wacky zany Eminem that
Yeah.
I think he did it. I think he did it amongst the best of his discography
Mhm.
with this. You know, for
Yeah.
the alter ego voices and everything. Like it was.
He
and
killed
the
it.
production was cool. The concept was just interesting. So I think as far as again, Relapse's album, I think Eminem even himself has shitted on it at certain points
He
in
has,
his
yeah.
career. But
He said Relapse was.
I
He
like
said
it.
I'm Not Afraid. I think he said Relapse
Yeah.
was but he said Recovery was better. But
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah. But no, I think that was a very good
Good
I think
album.
that was a very good album. But
Yeah.
I actually disagree with that, and that's my number 4 is Recovery.
Recovery.
I think
Oh, wow.
Recovery is better than I think, even though it's got its like kind of too poppy, it's got too many like comeback tracks for me. You know what I mean? Like it's got too many of like they counted me out,
Yeah.
and it's just like you're Eminem. I don't think anybody really ever counted you out.
No, not at all.
But
Not
he
at
does
all.
play the underdog card pretty good
He
sometimes.
does.
So
He does.
so like Not Afraid. Talk about overplayed.
That's the reason a lot of these. This
I
album
can't-
didn't make my top 5 because you got songs like the ones with Pink, Rihanna, Not Afraid. Like
Yeah.
I just like it would definitely be an honorable mention for me, but I feel like those songs are just like they're too popish. I don't like popish Eminem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think these are some of the only pop Eminem songs that I like. Love the Way You Lie.
Mhm.
Not Afraid I did like, but then it just got way too overplayed.
yeah, that's the thing.
But I like a lot of the like Cinderella Man is cool to me.
Yeah, Cinderella Man's dope. Shout out the
25 to
Lines for
Life.
using it.
Yeah. Talking to Myself is a song that was randomly it came back in my rotation like sometime last year. I was just listening to it in the cold and I was like, this feels like the
You know,
move.
I thought that was
When it
actually
was-
Kobe Bryant in the song. I swear to when I was younger.
I think of Kobe every time I see the like featuring Kobe,
Yeah,
you know.
same.
But even
Yeah.
though I know it's not obviously, but
Yeah.
no, that song is just like listen. If you're in the Midwest, you're dealing with that bullshit ass snow all the time. You're walking from the bus. That's a song. That's
Yeah,
a song
definitely.
to
That's a
get
good
you
song.
pumped up. But yeah, I liked that. I liked quite a few records on there. I remember, and I don't enjoy it as much as I used to, but as
Mhm.
a kid, I used to enjoy White Trash Party a lot. I just
That's a
thought it
good
was
song.
goofy.
That's a
I
really
thought it
good
was
song.
goofy. Now, again, some of the goofy stuff doesn't work for me, and that's one of them that doesn't work as well, but it's still fine.
We grew up on that though,
Yeah.
so it's like you have respect for
Yeah,
it. Like,
exactly.
You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
hate on it.
Yeah,
So
so
that was
no,
your 4.
yeah, that was my 4. I think there's filler on it, but ultimately, I think it's a overall. I think it's a good album. It's got its flaws, but it's a good album.
Definitely.
Oh,
So-
Spacebound too. I forgot that.
Spacebound's a good one.
Yeah.
And Seduction's actually a really one I really like. I feel like he dissed Wayne on Seduction. We'll talk about that later though.
Okay,
Um,
I don't remember the line.
So my number 4, this is where it gets crazy. I got Encore.
Oh shit. Okay.
That was like number 6 or 7 for me, I think. Or
Yeah,
something like that.
I think we were in line with Encore, if
Yeah.
I remember.
I was,
My
actually,
list
I was
hasn't
listening to it on the
changed.
way here, and I'm like, "Is this really number 4?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is." I mean, dude, intro, Evil Deeds, I loved it.
Oh,
Never
Evil
Enough.
Deeds, I forgot
Evil
to
Deeds is
shout out.
crazy
Yeah,
good.
yeah. That's
Never Enough is good. Yellow Brick Road is good. Toy Soldiers.
Yep.
Mosh, I didn't really care for.
Mosh, I liked.
Puke, I love that song just because it's
Yeah.
funny. It's hilarious. My first single was trash.
Yep.
Rain Man was good. I just feel like half of the song was a little he changed up the voices a little too much,
Mm-hmm.
but it was still a decent song. But like basically, mine is the songs that are like trying to be too funny, like Big Weenie.
Yeah.
Dude, you got songs on here that people still play to this day, like Ass Like That, Just Lose It, Mockingbird, Crazy in Love was a good one, One Shot, Two Shot. Like basically, the whole album is solid. It's
Now,
a
I don't
solid
know if
project.
anybody's playing those today. I'm gonna be
Oh
honest
shit,
with you.
I am.
They're not bad.
Shit,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am.
I know you are. I know you are. But
They're considered classic songs though. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
yeah, no,
So
I think they are. Like, if you're ranking Eminem songs, I think a lot of those songs are put in a conversation of
yeah,
like his better
absolutely.
songs. So, yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that number 4.
Yeah.
I know I kind of took the lead on you and switched
No,
the
no, you're
role,
good.
but because we had the
We had that
we had the
perfect
relapse
switch.
to recovery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a just go ahead and go to my 3, and I think this one is one of the weirdest albums to me in terms of placement. I can't figure out, like, no matter how many times I listen to it, I can't really ever fully get comfortable with where I have it, and that's Slim Shady LP at 3.
That's my number 3
Because
as well.
I don't.
That's my number 3 as well. He's got 2 better albums.
He
Let's just be
does.
honest.
He does.
And I feel like I know where this is going.
Yeah,
So
and you know what? It just. I
It's a
think
good album.
He didn't perfect. He didn't yet perfect that, like, wackiness. Like to me, when I'm looking at it, it is objectively his 3rd best album.
It
But
is.
I
It
like,
is.
you know, Encore better than it. I like other Eminem. I like Relapse better than it. I've listened to more songs off of Relapse than I do off of Slim Shady LP. I mean, really, the only thing I really, really actually love off that is Guilty Conscience. Like, that's
But it's your number 3 though?
yeah, but because objectively, like, I do look at it from a technical standpoint, it's like this is a better album. Like, the production is way better.
Mhm.
The just what it did, like, moment wise, and again, I'm not old enough to really know that, but from watching interviews
Yeah,
and
we were
from
still
seeing
young.
people,
Yeah.
like, seeing how they speak of it and how much of a shift that was in the rap
And
game.
hip hop and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it deserves to be there off of that, because I know it's like that's his holy trinity is those 3. But to me, I've always felt like that one, just personally, I don't put it with the other 2 monsters that he's got, the other 2 absolute bangers that he's got.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always just had a weird relationship with Slim Shady LP. I just think a lot of times he does some weird things, and you see some inspiration, like Tupac. Like, you saw Tupac's inspiration on songs like "Come On Everybody," and
Yeah.
yeah, there was corny moments on this album. It's not for me, and it sounds crazy that I'm talking this negatively about a number 3 album, but to me, it's just one of the weirder albums that I have to deal with, because I can say objectively,
Mm-hmm.
it's a damn good album.
It
But
is.
personally, I
It's just a
don't
little
like a lot of
too-
it. Yeah.
Cringy for you?
Yeah,
Or
oh,
something?
yeah. Too cringy, too many, in my opinion, not great songs, like not well fleshed out songs.
That's why he's one of the greats, though, because
But-
he's the only one that can pull that type of shit off.
Yeah,
Any other artist make an album like this is going in the dumpster.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
The album starts strong though, man.
It
Like,
does.
it does.
It does,
It does.
definitely.
It starts really strong. So
Yeah. My Name Is, bro, one of
Yeah.
the best freaking intros to an album.
I just
Like,
watched.
Come on.
I posted on our Twitter page the video of, like, it was like a documentary of Dr. Dre
Mhm.
talking about how it was a clip from the documentary, and it was Dr. Dre talking about how he first met Eminem, and within, like, the first, like, 20 seconds of them in the studio, like, Eminem just said, "Hi, my name is," and it was just like, boom, and that was it. And
That's
that was how,
crazy.
like, everything happened.
Like the biggest hit song back then, that's how it was brought up.
Literally,
That's
the first beat he threw on, and Eminem freestyled that within, like, 5 seconds of, like, the "Hi, my name is," like, just that part, and then they finished, the verses and stuff.
Wow, that's insane.
But, like, it was just like an instinctual
that's crazy.
thing. So yeah,
Wow.
that was a dope thing. Shout out to, I wish I could shout out whoever it was that whatever documentary that is, because to be honest with you, I don't remember seeing it.
He's got a lot of
So-
documentaries out there.
Yeah, but it was dope, man. So shout out that documentary. But yeah, whatever you want to add to number 3.
No, I mean nothing. That you basically said a lot. I mean, it's a good album, especially back in its time. he was getting a lot of backlash for it because a lot of shit that he said.
Yeah.
But the people loved it. I mean, it was. He's like one of the first artists to not give a fuck back then. Like
Yeah.
he just said whatever the fuck came out of his ass, it came
Like
out of his mouth.
like guilty
Like-
conscience. Like think about like you didn't really have records like that before. Like
You
you don't
didn't, no.
you didn't have like that. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like the creativity was there with the album. That's why I can't ever.
Like Infinite was like a straight
knock
like
it.
rapping album.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? And then this he kind of like he's like, all right,
Conceptual.
let's switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, let's make this album number one. Like
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I definitely agree. Number 3 on that.
Also, too many skits
A
on
lot
that
of
album
skits.
too.
A
Yeah.
lot. I counted like what 5, 6.
Yeah. So
It's a lot.
another thing. But yeah, go ahead. I'll let you kick it off then with your number 2,
Number 2.
because we know what it comes down to. It comes down to that bad boy right there and that other bad boy right there that's not in the frame.
Number 2, I got Revival. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, I was gonna
just
say,
playing.
man.
No, number 2, I was.
I
had
was
to.
so lost.
Yeah.
I
no.
was so lost.
That's why I did it. So my 1 and 2, I actually switched. So Eminem Show is number 2,
Okay.
which is crazy because I always defended the Eminem Show, and I still will to this day. It's still one of my favorite albums. But the reason I feel like I put it at the number 2 spot, I mean, I don't want to give too much away without getting into number 1. Obviously,
No, let's just rope it in as one
Rope it in.
conversation because
So-
we know these are the 2 albums it comes down to for
Yeah.
us both.
so in my opinion, the only reason it kind of is under Marshall Mathers LP original is because when I actually went back and started listening to both these albums in order last night, I come back to more songs on Marshall Mathers LP than I did Eminem Show.
Okay.
Now, for example, I think Kill You is a better intro to an album versus White America.
See, I strongly disagree with that.
You disagree with that?
Oh, strongly.
It was just how we jumped in, kind of like we did on some Shady LP. Like you just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like he just jumped in and fucking went ham on it. He just cussed out everything he can cuss out, make it a fucking intro, and let's get the show on the road. That's basically what he did. Stan, after you literally have one of the biggest Eminem songs
Yeah.
ever.
I think most people would say that's his best song.
Yeah,
I would have to think about it, but I definitely
that or
not
Lose
mad
Yourself.
at that take. Yeah.
yeah.
I think.
And then you
yeah.
got The Way I Am, The Real Slim Shady, Remember Me, I'm Back.
Yeah.
You got the funny ass Ken Kniff skit where he literally
Yeah.
disses
No, that's
ICP.
that's a better skit. That's a
Where he
better
literally
skit.
disses
Yeah.
ICP. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, Shaggy. Like, it's just funny. Like, this album is hilarious. It's cohesive. It's all to a point. It's all tied in together. Like, all these songs belong on this album. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
everything is together. Bitch Please 2, Drug Ballad, Under the Influence, Kim, which is a song that
Yep.
everybody still talks about to this day.
Yep.
Like, that's the craziest fucking track ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I come back to a lot more tracks on this album.
Yeah. I mentioned one of my favorites is the title track. That verse
one?
when he talks Marshall Mathers.
Oh, Marshall Mathers. Yeah, it's a good. Yeah,
Like
skip that one too. But
that title track where he's just going in about like the Biggie and Pac switch wallets.
Mhm.
That bar is so crazy.
yeah, no, that's
that
a
bar
good song.
is so crazy.
And then Criminal.
Yep.
But, I
Criminal.
mean, it's just a solid album. I mean,
like Amityville.
Amityville is good.
Yeah.
And Remember Me is really good.
Yeah.
Basically, I just don't really skip anything on this album minus the Steve Berman and Paul skit, which those don't really count.
Yeah.
Just
they're
'cause
just
it's a
skits,
skit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do I skip any songs on Eminem Show? Probably one, if I had to say. Obviously, the skits.
Pull up the track list.
And
Pull up this track.
just because
list
I
here.
can't really listen to it without feeling uncomfortable as fuck, Drips. Like,
Yeah.
It's just, that's not a song you can play in front of people. Like, Superman is probably one of my favorites on there. Square Dance, I mean,
Square Dance is cool.
it's
okay.
cool, but I like Brand New Dance a lot more, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
I don't know.
That is
But
crazy.
but this album, those are literally the two songs. I mean, Drips I still like, but I just feel like I come back to more tracks on Marshall Mathers LP.
So I love this because I'm opposite of you.
Mhm.
I have Eminem Show 1, Marshall Mathers LP 2.
Mhm.
And the reason I have Eminem Show over Marshall Mathers LP is a lot of what you said is true, but except for the White America, like White America to me is one of the hardest intros, especially
It
when
is
you
hard.
think about,
No, it definitely
especially
is.
when you think about like culturally what that was for hip hop, where Eminem was this at that point this certified juggernaut powerhouse force,
Yeah.
and being a white rapper in hip hop,
Mhm.
and like culturally what that was, and he embraced that divide, and he did it very well to the point where I don't think there's any rapper outside of like Mac Miller that's handled the white rapper role as well as Eminem. And I think
Yeah.
just from the cultural the awareness and the cultural respect
Mhm.
that like M and Mac have handled that position. I think that makes that record so phenomenally important, and just the dramatic production when the album starts. It really just it you feel whenever I get that whenever I get that track and I run it from the or that album and I run it from the top. Whenever I run Eminem Show from the top, man, I get those like those goosebumps because you
Yeah.
you you feel that
Definitely.
you feel
Definitely.
somebody at the height of their powers, like, and that's what I
Yeah.
love about like I love albums that do that to me,
It's so good, man.
like Damn with Kendrick does that to me too. It's an album where you feel like an artist like at their peak,
Mhm.
at their prime, at their apex, where they are just untouchable.
Yeah.
And I think Eminem does that well. So there's so much dramatic of it. And again, I like more songs than I like on Marshall Mathers LP.
Okay.
I don't dislike a lot on either record,
Yeah.
but
Honestly.
I lean more the dramatics of Eminem Show. Like I think like Soldier, Till I Collapse. Like those are just to me,
Bangers.
and I know you said the thing about Stan being one of his best songs, and I
Mhm.
think The Way I Am and I think Real Slim Shady are all and Kim incredibly well written tracks
And like up there, basically.
and up there.
Yeah.
But I think personally, when I'm looking at this album, the White America, the Soldier, the Say Goodbye to Hollywood, the Without Me, Sing for the Moment,
Yeah.
like Till I Collapse, like he does
Bangers. Like
on
this.
these on this album. I think he writes better. I think.
You think so?
I think so. I think if I'm splitting hairs because I think they're both well written.
Honestly, they're neck to neck. Like
Yeah, they
for
are.
you, Eminem Show is right here and Marshall Mathers is right here.
Yeah.
For me, Marshall Mathers is right here. Eminem's Show is right here. So it's
It's-
like you're literally splitting hairs at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I
It's
guess it's just
crazy
whichever
to
songs
it.
you come back to more.
Yeah.
Mine is Marshall Mathers LP. Yours Eminem Show. But we both respect that these are still top two albums of Eminem, and if not of this time and period, when
Yeah.
hip hop, you know, how it was back then. They're just up there.
Yeah.
So
It's just I think it's just the moment to me. Those are both two albums that have incredible moments, but
mhm.
the moments of Eminem Show feel stronger than the moments of
Yeah.
Marshall Mathers is kind of, to me, it's always been Eminem establishing that he is that superstar,
Absolutely.
and then
Yeah.
and then Eminem shows him establishing himself within the culture.
And this has always been a debate
Yeah.
for a lot of fans.
And it's always
like
gonna
which
be
one
a
is
debate.
better.
It's always
going to be a debate because they're both fucking amazing.
And they both have aged well.
They have.
They both have aged well. I think they're overall. I think they're just like, it's tough to compare. Like
It is.
you take those two against any two. Again, you know how I feel about the third,
Yeah.
but you take those two and put them against almost any
Graduation and
artist
college dropout. It's like you don't know what the fuck to pick.
Yeah.
I'd probably go with them, obviously, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's another video we gotta fucking do.
Twos or threes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd
I'm
be
down
crazy.
With that. I'm down with that.
Like take an artist's Holy Trinity album
Yeah.
and match them up, see which one does better. Man,
Yeah, let's do
that's a
that
good
next week.
concept.
Let's do that next week.
Let's do it.
I'm down because I'm already doing the homework in my head.
Yeah, same.
I'm already doing the homework in my head. Maybe we'll do it on either on the pod or we'll do it next
I'm
next
down.
week.
I'm
It's
down.
a side quest.
Definitely.
But let us know in the comments below what you think of Eminem's discography. What do you think of his top 5? What are his best albums? What are his worst albums? Where are you at with the Eminem Show versus Marshall Mathers LP? I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this as 2 separate videos. I think I'm gonna just clip the
Eminem and Marshall Mathers.
the
and then
debate
rest
for
of the-
one,
Yeah,
and then this.
it's a good idea.
Because I think that's a very strong conversation.
Definitely.
So
And we
I-
both had some stuff
love
that were
that.
all true. So
I love that. But
Yeah.
Money Mur, my guy, I appreciate you pulling up on an off day. You
Hell
see how
yeah.
hard we're working.
Got
And
you.
shout out the show yesterday. Shout out the live event we were at. We're the day we're recording this is post the live event that we did. And
if you guys missed us, we got
really
interviews
dope.
coming.
so much content
So
coming,
much
man.
content.
It was awesome, man. We had
We had a
so
blast.
many electric interviews too.
Oh man, some weird interviews too.
We
It's
had,
like-
yeah, but you know what? Those are gonna be funny.
those
too.
are gonna be funny though.
Those are gonna be
Those are
funny.
gonna be funny
so,
for sure.
Yeah, man, it was a hell of an event. So shout out to Colin and Corey for helping put that on. We'll definitely be doing some more stuff in the future. So catch us out there. We did our first merch drop. This is a success, man. Out there, man. I loved it, man. We looked like a fucking security unit with them black shirts.
We did.
Crew moving deep.
We
I
got
love
more merch dropping
more merch
by
dropping
the end of this year.
Stay tuned. Again, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that. Have a good week, y'all. See you next time.